What if all of the energy and time that you spend trying to cultivate gratitude was actually wasted? And what if there were an infinite source of gratitude and appreciation that was available to you right now in any moment of your life? Well, that would be something amazing. And it's true. And I'll tell you more about it in this episode. But why gratitude? Well, why do we care so much about gratitude? All of the coaches are talking about it, of course, this time of year. I'm filming this on Thanksgiving Day, but gratitude just feels freaking great. Being able to have gratitude for what is in your life is an enjoyable experience. And when someone else has genuine gratitude for who you really are, oh, there's nothing better than that. Having gratitude, more gratitude in your life leads to more appreciation and joy, more connection, and more well-being. But actually, it's a symptom, it's a side effect. And I'll tell you more about that. My name is Rich Life, and I am a chiropractor for the mind and soul. So I don't actually give physical adjustments, but I help people to have mental adjustments that align with them with who they really are. Because all it takes is one thought, and it's kind of like a back crack. You're like, oh, and then you feel better, you move better, you enjoy life more. And this space is the Rich Life Realization podcast. We are exploring the richest life possible because we all have a wonderful experience of life, a rich texture of each moment that we might be missing out of. We might be blocking it from ourselves. So I help to share the rich life experience that I am experiencing more of the time with other people. And stay to the end of this video because I'm going to share my secret, the hack of infinite gratitude. Like in video games, they have the infinite resource hack, or the you get infinite life. This is the hack for infinite gratitude. And today is Thanksgiving, when most people give thanks. They spend the time with friends and or family, and they are trying to cultivate gratitude. It is a thankfulness for the abundance of food and friendship and fellowship that we have in our lives. But a lot of people don't experience that all of the time. They don't have gratitude in every moment. And we want to have that more of the time, not just on Thanksgiving. And even on Thanksgiving, sometimes we can get into a low place. I know I used to try and ruin holidays. My wife would say, you're trying to ruin the holidays, because I'd get in a low mood. But I've learned now an understanding that helps me. And I'll tell a story that I think will share the experience of this and the practicality of this. A long time ago, is my grandmother, who's now passed. She came over. My grandmother was pretty sweet, but she was had this ability that I think a lot of people we know have, and that is to take life really kind of seriously. A little too seriously sometimes. She could be a little bit severe, and she could also just have this crying at Christmas. Like there was just this sweetness to her, but it felt like she had it guarded. And she brought over on Thanksgiving 2 pies, and she put them on the kitchen table. And of course, we got distracted. We greeted each other. All of my family was working on making Thanksgiving dinner. I was probably outside playing and being distracted and saying, "Hey, Grandma, come look at me." And we come back probably about 30 minutes later. One of the pies completely gone. Like there's the tin that's still there, but just completely demolished. Like somebody has eaten the entire pie and licked it clean. And the other pie untouched. Not even a bite or a lick. Nothing. Completely pristine on the table. And of course, the culprit wasn't me. I didn't eat the pie. It wasn't my brother. It wasn't a human. We had a cocker spaniel, this party colored cocker spaniel, sweet dog. Oh my gosh, since passed, but I love that dog. Name was Grace. Grace Slick. And she's waddling around like, oh man. like like the experience that people have after of just eating way too much of Thanksgiving. We're just kind of like, oh my god, what did I do? And of course, she's eaten the pie completely clean and didn't touch the other pie. She's like, that was plenty. And she's just like, her belly's completely full. She's just like, oh man. And of course, my grandmother, she's a little upset. She's not happy that one of her pies is just completely gone. And I thought it was kind of funny. Most of my parents and my family were like a little mad at the dog. Kind of can't be mad at the dog, right? You have that understanding, but of course, she took it personal. She got into a low mood, and the difference wasn't the event. Of course, it was kind of her pie, so that was a little bit more personal, but it wasn't the event. Another person might have had a different reaction. The difference was her thinking. Her thinking led to a low mood. And of course, my thinking, I thought it was kind of funny. Like, oh, that dog. And now I see it just whimsically. That so encapsulates that dog, Grace. Like she was just hunting for food throughout the house. That was like a full-time job for her. And I have understanding, oh, you shouldn't leave the pie on the table. So that kind of points to something. She didn't have gratitude in that moment for the dog or the situation. I probably did a little bit. I'm like, that's funny. But it points to the fact that we have these moods or these levels of consciousness that go up and down. And we're at different levels of consciousness at different times of the day. But we think that it's coming from the events around us, but it's coming from our own thinking. And when we try to have gratitude from a low level of consciousness, well, it's not going to come. It's kind of like squeezing toothpaste from an empty toothpaste, and like you squeeze the tube as hard as you can, and like maybe like a little toothpaste pops up, and then like you let go to grab the toothbrush, and then it goes back in, and you fight with it for probably way too long. Like I'm gonna take this serious. I'm gonna get some toothpaste out of this. We take that a little bit too seriously. We're like, I will get the last little bit of toothpaste out of the tube, so help me. And that's kind of what it's like when we're trying to cultivate gratitude from a low mood. You're gonna spend a lot of effort and not really get anywhere. You're not gonna get much out of it. And that's to contrast with when you have a high mood, when you're feeling pretty good, you're naturally grateful. You don't have to work at it at all. You've got the full toothpaste thing. It's fresh. You just bought it. You take off the cap, and like the toothpaste kind of like there's like that internal pressure that the toothpaste like already kind of starts coming out. And you have to get your toothbrush and grab it real quick and then put the cap back on. Like if you squeeze the toothpaste, then oh my gosh, like it's so easy. It flows. It's natural. You don't have to work at it at all. You just give a tiny squeeze and you have more than enough. You have an overabundance of toothpaste. You have enough toothpaste to last you for weeks. and that is the secret to infinite toothpaste, because you have this space of well-being within you that brings you gratitude and appreciation all of the time, in every moment, right now. But the thing is, you also have the power to use your own thinking. And you don't do it on purpose. You do it innocently, but you block it. You use the power of your own thinking that lowers your level of consciousness, your level of mood. It blocks that natural well-being. That's your home base. That well-being is your home base. That's great news. That gratitude, appreciation, love, and wonder is who you really are. That is there. That is the core of you. That is within you all of the time. And another metaphor that I sometimes use is that of a river. That well-being, that gratitude, that appreciation is always flowing. But that we have this ability to freeze over the top of it using the power of our own thought. Sometimes we do it innocently. We don't mean to, but we're holding on to thought. And we freeze over the top of it. And when that happens, you cannot touch the water. You cannot connect with the water because there's something in the way. And sometimes that ice can be 3 inches thick, a foot thick, because we have the power to freeze it, to hold on to it, to grasp, to give it energy. and it blocks that natural well-being within us. And this is the secret. That, do you know what? I wish I could have shared with my grandma this. I wish that I could have shared with her this understanding, and that she could have had a richer, more enjoyable experience of life. Because she hurt herself a lot with the power of her own thinking. She really created a hard life for herself. She took herself seriously. And it blocked her natural expression of who she really was. She was in pain. She wasn't doing it on purpose. But I wish that I could have told her that you don't have to do anything. That you don't have to have a gratitude practice and journal 3 things that you're grateful for every day. I did that for years. And you know what? It wouldn't have mattered if I would have done it multiple times a day or created even longer of a list. Why? Because I was doing it from a low mood. And maybe it would help. Maybe it would help some people. And maybe it's helpful for you. And if it is, keep doing it. This isn't to say that you shouldn't. But I think that there's an easier way. I see now that there's an easier way, and I don't need to put all this energy and effort into trying to squeeze out the last bit of gratitude that I possibly can when it's not going to be there naturally. And I think we get into that space where we don't even understand. We're like, well, it worked just a little bit ago. Why isn't it working now? Well, it's because you're in a low mood. It's blocked. There is none available to you. Like the ice is blocking it. You can't dip your hand in. I wish I could have shared that with her. I wish that I could have shared with her that there is a space within us, an infinite space that in time will bring us back to who we really are, to a higher mood. And it does that just naturally. Sometimes it takes a little while. Sometimes, in spite of us, it happens. We just lift out of a low mood and we feel better. And what's happening is that the thought is dissipating, that natural background, the core of who we really are can shine through then. And that's one of the things that we can do to help it, is we can let the thought settle, understand that it is thought, that it is mental energy, and that mental energy comes and it dissipates, and that's its nature. It will dissolve if we let it. And new thought will come to us. Thought from that space of wellness, and it could be thought of natural gratitude and appreciation. And if she saw that from her infinite space of who she really was, she would have had a more rich experience of life. And if she saw where it comes from, that it comes from within, that we have this space within us that is powerful and wonderful that we can take ourselves away from it, but it's always there. It's the background. I like to use this, I like to describe it as like a painting, and the background of the painting, the canvas, that is woven with pure love and understanding. So it doesn't matter what's on the front of the canvas, but that is the background, that is the basis. And when that other stuff clears, because that's the thing about these moods, these levels of consciousness, is that they're constantly changing. That's the great news. That it's kind of like the weather. And sometimes you just need to wait. And sometimes you need to realize that you're holding on to thought. You're creating your own clouds, not meaning to. And sometimes we just realize that eventually we'll be brought back. And trust in that. Trust in the natural operation of this. Because when you get out of its way, oh my gosh, it works beautifully. You work beautifully when you're not in your own way. The natural operation of you, the natural principles of you are so effortless and so wonderful. That is the space that will bring you the infinite gratitude. There is no end. Like that full tube of toothpaste, except for there's infinite toothpaste. You will never run out when you are living from that clarity, when you're out of your own way. And so this is Thanksgiving Day. I am so grateful that you took the time to listen today. Thank you. And may this understanding bring you more well-being. May it give you the rich life that I wish my grandma had. On this day, may you find natural gratitude, effortless gratitude. And if you don't have it, that's okay. May that be okay too. And if you could do me a favor, if you could share this with somebody that you know would love to have more gratitude and appreciation in their life. I don't sell anything on here or ask for anything except for that, because I want everyone to have the most rich and gracious and wonderful experience of life that they can possibly have. Mm. I'm so grateful that you gave me the most precious resource that you have, and that's your time and attention. This has been the Rich Life Realization Podcast, and may you have, if you celebrate such a rich and vibrant Thanksgiving. Thank you.